Hello, beautiful. Today's theme is the power of one. And this invitation was offered me by Spirit today after seeing a homeless man with a sign that said anything helps. And this has kind of been an overwhelming theme and synchronicity that's been popping up this week. So I wanted to heed Spirit's calling and come share this with you, whether there be something here that you need to hear, some guidance, some advice, hope, whatever it is. I hope that you receive it in this message. When I sat down to record this, the time was actually 8:18, and this Spirit number means that changes are coming into your life. And it may feel overwhelming, but you are surrounded by positive energy to remain optimistic and embrace this opportunity and listen for the divine guidance that surrounds you. And after being offline for a couple weeks and taking some mindful, intentional time away from social media, this just further felt aligned. And if you follow me for any amount of time, you know that alignment is a big theme. So my name is Katrina Shearhart. Welcome to Realm One Collective. This is Shadow Sessions, a sacred space where we journey into the hidden depths of our hearts and minds, reveal the truth of our souls. Through divine guidance from God and Spirit, we're here to guide you toward profound healing, personal growth, and self-discovery. Together, we embrace the transformative power of shadow work, honoring the parts of ourselves we often overlook or struggle with. We illuminate the path to alignment, purpose, and wholeness. This is a sacred invitation to step fully into the light of your authentic self, live with intention, and your divine alignment. So, anything helps. An overwhelming theme this week. And the power of one. We often underestimate ourselves, our own power, and the power of influence that we have. And I've read so many books on the subject, and I could talk endlessly about this, but there's so many ways to approach this. But I wanted to share the words that the pastor at the church that we're currently attending shared, because he was talking about when people come together, miracles happen. And he shared a movie clip where during World War II, they needed to move troops, and there were people showing up that could only take one or two people in their boat, and it was really illustrating the same idea. And when it comes to what we're able to give and even what we're able to receive, those small amounts, they matter. And anything at all helps. So whether it be a smile, an encouraging word, $1, a penny, right? We often underestimate the impact that we can have. And we just came through the election season here in the States, and that was an overwhelming theme there as well, was, you know, how people constantly questioning, like, how much impact can I really have? But we fail to recognize that the power of one can really be a tipping scale sometimes, or it could be enough to get the ball rolling, and we often underestimate our ability to help ourselves and to help others. So I want to encourage you to first think about a time when someone or something happened that was very small, but it ended up being the catalyst for something bigger, right? Because it's oftentimes that until we look back, we don't see the impact or the value of something until we've seen how it's played out. And it can be really hard to see that moving forward, how, you know, something small and humble that we may be able to offer someone else may impact them. And if I'm being honest, this is something that it's constant under evaluation for myself. As a healer, as a coach, and in all the different hats that I play, you're constantly asking, how much impact am I really making? But if you can impact anybody's life at all in any way, shape, or form positively, that's enough. If you've done it, then that's enough. And more importantly, doing that for yourself. And we underestimate, the power of one glass of water. I'm calling myself out there because a friend that got on me about me drinking my water last night. One walk around the block, one workout, one positive thought, one act of kindness, one expression of gratitude, one moment to pause. Those one small, minute things end up snowballing, whether it becomes a ritual or a practice over time, or whether it just be something that kind of gets the ball rolling in another way, like seeing that sign this morning and now speaking to you about this idea. But there's times in our life where we feel like we don't have anything to give. And again, I've read so many books on the subject, and I'm reading another one right now that talks about how can I help, how can I give without burning myself out, and what do I really have to give. And I think that idea of purpose and what am I here to do and who am I is something that we just naturally struggle with. It's part of being human, and it's so common, and it's so natural. It's a part of our humanity. It's a part of the journey. And I think a lot of the times we feel like there's something wrong with us, when really there's nothing wrong with us. It's just a matter of embracing the journey and exploring who we are, and what we like, what we don't like. And again, even just having the power to say I like or don't like, X, Y, Z, and understanding even in the smallest of ways, little acts of kindness towards ourselves and towards others do have impact. And it's something that we don't often see the foundation of. And even if we think about the scripture where Jesus or the shepherd left the 99 to go in search of the one, right? That one is what completes the flock. That one that's went astray is the one who's in need of help, right? So whether there's someone in your life and on your heart that you're trying to figure out how you can help them, or you're being asked and invited to focus on yourself this season, one thing that I often share in my workshops is a 1, 2, 3 method. And it's, what's one thing you can do today or every day in this moment? Can you focus on just today? And I've been reading through the AA Big Book on behalf of a friend, and that, a day at a time, that power of one is powerful. One moment. Even if you're living moment to moment right now, or paycheck to paycheck, or hour to hour, week to week, whatever that is, it's powerful, and it's important to just make it through those and to see the value in that, even in something as small as a penny, right? And another scripture that's channeling in right now, I believe it's about the sparrow, and there's also another one about a widow who didn't have very much to give, but she gave all that she had. And it's the same idea. You may not feel like you have a lot to give. You may feel like you're burnt out, or you don't know what it is. You don't know what your gifts are, or what you can really offer anyone, let alone yourself. But it's important to sit and ask yourself and have that sense of evaluation, and to be honest, and to kind of pull the scope back out. Because a lot of the times when we think of giving, we think about monetary things, but we also have time, and we have our energy, and there's lots of different ways to serve. And again, I read another really great book on this recently that was about different ways that we can give, and it really broke it down in a beautiful way. I wish I could think of what it was called. Even looking at my bookshelf, I can't see it right off the bat, but it's this idea that there are things and ways that we can step up, whether it be for ourselves or others. And a really great point that was made in this book was that if working on yourself is all you're able to give to the world, to your family, to yourself, that is the most important thing that you can do. Never mind impacting thousands. And I think social media has kind of hurt more than it's helped when it's come to this idea of, wanting to make impact and this skewing of the numbers, which is why I was invited by Spirit to kind of step back and take some time away, was to see what impact I'm making day to day, real time in my life. And being very present in my life has opened up my eyes and my third eye and my spirituality even more. It's helped me become very grounded, but I honestly encourage you to take a day, if you can only handle one day offline, or longer, to see this in effect in your own life, but to see what is real and what is tangible, and who is directly in front of you, and whose life you are impacting day to day. And another really great example of this was, I had a student a couple years ago when I was teaching clubs and camps, and I forget what the prompt was that we were doing in our creative journaling, but essentially it was kind of like the same idea, like how do you want to create impact, or what do you want to be when you grow up, kind of a thing, and why. And one of the kids, they put a barista, and I got really curious, and I'm like, why? And they're like, the way that they explained it, I'm not going to be able to do it justice, but I kept the piece of artwork because I wanted to remember it, at least in spirit, right? But the way they explained it to me was this idea that, making someone's cup of coffee in the morning, they have this expectancy. A lot of us have a ritual around coffee in itself, but being able to provide that service and to offer them a smile and a moment of kindness, and it touched my heart because it really helped me see, and it honestly humbled me. It really humbled me because at that time, I was trying to, go big, and that's something that Spirit and God has been refining in me, is that humility. And we take for granted the small interactions that we have every day, whether it would be, the cashier at the coffee shop or the grocery store, or, what have you. Those small interactions, a friendly smile, a kind hello, they really can impact, someone's day and how they're feeling. And if you don't believe that it can, I encourage you to try it. It costs nothing to be kind, right? It costs nothing to give a little smile. I know some days it can be really hard to muster that up, but it's actually a really great exercise. Even if you only do it for yourself, to look in the mirror and to smile and hold that smile for 30 seconds can actually help your brain rewire itself, give you the pump of positive hormones and get you going. So I encourage you to give it a try and add it with your affirmations or whatever it is that you're working on, quotes and different things. Or if you pull a tarot card every day or read a scripture, whatever that ritual is for you, have your cup of coffee, or when you're brushing your teeth, give yourself a moment to look yourself in the eye and smile or laugh. I had a teacher years back where she did an exercise where, she would have us laugh. And, at first you're forcing it, but eventually it becomes natural and it becomes funny and you can laugh at yourself, right? So little things like that help shake up the energy, help shift your mindset. And again, power of one positive word to yourself or someone else can change and shift and be the catalyst that you didn't know you need. So give that some thought into how you can incorporate that and how you can impact those around you. Because again, taking this time offline and focusing on the clients that are in front of me and the families that I'm serving, and really asking myself, where can I stretch myself? Where can I give of myself more? What do I have to give? Because I'm in a place right now where I'm working on my finances, but I need to, be smart and handle my obligations before doing other things. I wish I could give more freely. So what else can I do? And God's always been really great about providing me with opportunities to serve. So I've never had an issue with giving of my time and my energy. So I looked at my schedule, I reevaluated my priorities and different things to see where I could give more of my time. And sometimes that's uncomfortable, right? Sacrificing time to volunteer, it's a dedication, but that little bit can impact someone's life. And the opportunity I was presented was to reach out to the children's ministry at the church that we're currently attending to offer my time, because I'm a teacher, I'm a nanny, and I've always been around kids. I have an affinity, and that's where God seems to keep placing me. And I'm trying to find a reason and appreciation for that, even if I don't understand it. And I realized that my presence in these spaces is very valuable. I often work with infants, so I'm not, having these deep conversations with them, but I'm still having interactions with the parents, right? I'm still sharing my parenting experience, my teaching experience, and, whatever light small talk of, what's been going on in my life. And a client yesterday asked me how my weekend was, and I said, it's really great. I ran a workshop, it was completely full, and I got to share that experience, and that made me feel good because I got to express that gratitude. I got to express and share more of like different things that I do and offer to the community. And hopefully, in the future that may develop into something else. Maybe they'll attend a workshop and invest in themselves in that way. You never know the seeds that you're planting. And again, the power of one. Even if you're planting a seed within yourself or someone else, you often don't understand that impact until later on. And more importantly, a lot of times we don't see the impact that we create. A lot of times it's things that happen in other people's lives that we never get to hear about. I absolutely love when people come back and tell me, how things that I've said or done for them have helped them, and they share where they are now, and it makes you feel good. But oftentimes you don't get to hear that back, and you just have to kind of put it out into the world and the universe and give it to God, and know that you did something good, and that energy is going to come back to you positively in some way, shape, or form, right? You're not doing it for yourself. You're the more happiness there is in giving than there is in receiving. And that altruistic state, we want to be in that state of extending ourselves. We don't want to overextend ourselves to being a martyr, but we want to be setting those healthy boundaries where we are able to give of ourselves, and also being careful that we're not overgiving and depleting our own supply where we're not taking care of ourselves or our obligations and priorities. So again, the power of one. What is one thing that you can do? What is one thing that you need, big or small, right? Is there someone in your life you can ask? Is there someone in your community ask? Or do you have to give it to God in spirit and let it go? It's about acting in faith and taking that step, no matter how small, because a journey begins with a single step. The power of one. So I'm going to leave it here. I hope that you heard something that you needed to hear, and I'll be back again soon. Take care.